What's up guys, I'm going to do another video, and today we're going to be talking about what Advanced Warfare did right. So I did one of these videos last year for Call of Duty Ghosts, and in these videos I try and be optimistic and just kind of positive about the previous Call of Duty game and just kind of go over my thoughts on what that game did right, because the past two Call of Duty games have gotten a lot of crap from the community of just about how bad they are and how Treyarch's game is going to be the best. So I made a list of some of the big things that I feel that Advanced Warfare did right. This definitely isn't, all the little details and stuff, but just some of the main points I wanted to get across. So the first thing is, I like that Sledgehammer, they took a chance with this game and they, made change to the series. And, it was a big step for them to go from, boots on the ground to jetpacking everywhere and boosting everywhere and, people strafing and, double jumping and stuff everywhere. And that's a big change, and that's not a change that a lot of people liked, and frankly a lot of people hated about it, but I like that they actually did something different for a change and they changed it up. Because with Ghosts, I remember one of the main complaints about that game was just that it was so boring and it is so similar to previous games, and that game seemed like a copy and paste of all the rest of them. And with this game, you can't say that about it. You can't say, oh, this game's the same as the last one, because this one has like jetpacks and stuff and the maps are completely different and everything. And speaking of the maps, my next point is that this game had some colorful maps and it had like actual color in the game. So with Ghosts, I don't know why Infinity Ward does it, but starting with Modern Warfare 3, they decided, you know what, screw color, we're gonna have every map be gray or like yellow, and those are the only two colors we can put into our game. So it's nice to see a game that actually looks good when you're like watching a video or just when you're playing, because you can actually kind of tell the difference between a bush and a player. Instead in Ghosts you couldn't tell if that wall was a person or if it was just a wall. So next part of this is that the maps were actually detailed on it. So on Retreat, I'm gonna point out as an example, at the bar on one of the hard points, you can see like they have like sushi on the plate, they have plates, they have cups, they have like forks and knives and stuff, and they just have tons of stuff all over that bar. And it's nice to see that in a game. Like most games, if you go into a room or something, they might have like a coffee mug on a desk or something, or a keyboard or a monitor or something. But there's not a whole lot of games that you can like go into a room or something and you can find a plate, or you can find crumbs or something, or little things like that, like paper scattered around, or it just, the maps are highly detailed. And you can really tell that they put a lot of time into designing the maps, because there's a lot of detail in all the maps. And the game itself looks like a next-gen game, or a current-gen I should say, but most people didn't really seem like Ghosts was a next-gen game to them. So like there was this whole thing back when Ghosts came out for the PS4, and it made its way onto Reddit because of like one of T. Martin's videos, because he didn't install it 100% of the way, that like the textures looked bad, and everyone was like, oh, these next-gen consoles are so great, when you can't even like see an image on the map. And the Ghost didn't really, there wasn't like any differences between current and last gen graphically or anything. Like the colors were a little bit brighter and stuff, and everything was a little bit sharper, but there wasn't a whole lot of difference. But with Advanced Warfare, oh man, it's like a completely different game, and it just looks so much better, runs so much more smooth, and it really is a next gen game on the Xbox One and PS4, and I guess even PC. The next part is that Advanced Warfare had an awesome campaign. Like the campaign was really sweet, with Kevin Spacey as a villain. Well, spoiler alert, but the game's been out for over a year, so I guess who cares. But the campaign was great. The cutscenes in it were really good. I like that. They did like a lot of mocap stuff for that, and the cutscenes really do look good in that game. And just the storyline was pretty good. And it was just a good change from like the random country like Russia, or some African country, or some country from South America or something wants to fight the US or something. Instead it's like, oh, it's a it's not a country, it's a company that wants to fight the U.S. You know, it's a military that wants to fight the U.S. And it was something different, and I like that they changed that up in there too. And they also had a lot of character customization in this game, and I really like that. Like, you know, you have your standard military exos and suits and gloves and hats and stuff. And, you know, in the supply drops and everything, people were always, you know, complaining about getting Nigerian gear and stuff. But there was so much gear that you could get into that game. Like, you get beanies, hats, goggles, boots, shirts, pants, exos, you name it. Like, there was so much customization. And with the advanced supply drops and stuff, they put out some really crazy looking character customization. And some people didn't like that. But I say, as long as, you know, it's not taking anything away from the game, it's not hurting it. So, hey, if you want to be a space clown or something, then go for it. If you want to be a squid looking guy, go for it. If you want to look like a tree, go for it. If you want to be, you know, a standard military guy, you know, dressed up in camouflage and stuff, go for it. You know, it's there. If you want to, you know, look ridiculous, you can. But also with customization, there was weapon variants / supply drops. I liked the variants. Not a lot. Most people don't disagree with me that the weapon variants were good and they liked it. The part that they didn't like was that it made changes to your gun, so it did stat changes and stuff. I think most people would have liked it if it was just cosmetic, or say if it had very minor changes to the gun, like maybe a little bit faster ADS and stuff like that. None of this like huge, oh, this thing can 3-shot from across the map when the normal gun takes like 6 or something. You know, nothing huge and crazy like that. But weapon variants, I think, were a pretty good thing. I didn't like that it was based on luck. You know, that could have been improved. That you could earn all the variants. You don't have to just play and, you know, hope you get lucky. But supply drops, I feel that were a good thing, and it added something new to Call of Duty, because, you know, a lot of people, when they're bummed out, they're like, oh man, you know, I really don't want to play right now. But then they're like, but, you know, I need to get this daily supply drop or something, because maybe I'll get a good gun in it. And, you know, whenever you were just open up a supply drop, you'd be like, ooh, is it going to be an elite gun? Is it going to be, you know, the Insanity? Is it going to be the Hole Puncher? You know, what is it going to be? Is it going to be a good gun that I'm looking forward to and I really want, you know? And for some people it never was, but for other people like me, I got pretty lucky with my supply drops, and I like that, you know, you got a bunch of random loot and stuff in them. I'm not going to talk about advanced supply drops, because, you know, there's a lot of people didn't like that. But my last thing that I liked about this game is that last gen got the same initial disc content that next gen or current gen did. So with Black Ops 3 on last gen, so the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, the game does not have a campaign, and it doesn't offer a season pass or anything. There's only one zombies map, and the game just looks super awful on last gen. And like, you can't even get like the same camos and stuff. Like, the DLC camos aren't available on last gen and stuff. And the thing I liked about Advanced Warfare is that the game was essentially the same thing. You know, like, sure, there was ground war on current gen, whereas on last gen, you know, there was no ground war, but you still got all the exact same maps, and you still got the exo survival, and you still got a campaign. You know, you still got every single thing that current gen got. But, you know, later on, you didn't get some of the weapon variants, but that was because of hardware limitations. But I liked that, you know, the game, it was actually worth $60, and, you know, that was meaningful to me since I didn't have an Xbox One when the game came out. So I was stuck playing it on my 360, and it was still a good game on the 360. You know, like, it was still a fun game. You know, it still got a lot of the same updates, even if they came out a little bit later. But for the first like 2 months or so, the updates came out at like the exact same time, and I appreciated that, because it only took me a couple months after the game came out to get an Xbox One. But I liked this game. It was a nice change, and I think that Sledgehammer, they should be proud of themselves. You know, they didn't take the easy way and, you know, try and just, oh man, you know, we can't do any change because then people aren't gonna like it or anything. You know, they took a chance, and they're like, you know what, let's try and do something different with this franchise. And, you know, they took a chance, they went for it, and you could debate whether it failed or if it worked for them. but yeah, they did change and they made change in this game. So there you guys go. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Let's try and be positive about this. You know, I know you guys probably are trying to like repress your memories of this game and you don't want to ever think back to it, but you know, this game did quite a lot of things right and I really liked it. So tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.